Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I'm going to be reading and telling you some stories off of Reddit that are astral projection stories. Now, if you don't know what astral projection is, it is apparently when the body and the soul are separated. And a lot of people have positive experiences, but a lot of people have bad experiences because you're leaving your body's vessel open and susceptible to so many different things. But I wanted to read some off and just let y'all kind of um, see or think about things for yourself. And so I'm going to jump on in. I got sleep paralysis one night falling asleep, so I started meditating, getting ready to leave my body, and suddenly I was able to see the room clearly and sat up in my bed and saw myself sleeping. I couldn't get my legs out, and suddenly several shadow figures appeared, and I started chanting in my head, asking for help. An angel appeared in my room, and the figures took off. I felt so loved by this being, and she touched me and turned into like a rotten version of herself. I was so terrified. She grabbed my hand and pulled me out of my body, and after that I felt a million miles an hour through space and time. It looked like a psychedelic wormhole, and it was the fastest I ever felt in my life. And I reached the end of the portal, and I was back in my body, and I slowly went out of the paralysis and got up. It was exhilarating. This is the next one. I've been trying to find an explanation for something. I recently experienced, and I believe it might have been astral projection or an out of body experience. It was after a major brain surgery. I went to sleep, but I woke up. Standing in the middle of my bedroom, I saw myself lying in my bed and could even see what was on TV. I was able to walk around the room freely, and I felt a pulling force. Something wanted me to walk a certain direction. It felt very wrong. I suddenly had to fight against this pulling force. Shortly after, it felt like I was suddenly shocked back into my body and woke up. I think it might have been a successful out of body experience. I'm new to all this and have been looking for answers. It was my insight. Please let me know. One night I was having a lucid dream. There was an entity I was extremely attracted to from the moment I saw it in my dream. I say entity because I thought it would fly over the lake I was near and plunge to the water to induce sensation of floating. I would require to convert this to an orb, but all of a sudden I was back on my back. As soon as I fly up, I decided to plunge anyways. I sink into the dark water. I awaken in my room in sleep paralysis. The entity is there. I truly believe the same one. It had the appearance of a witch face, very detailed, and instantly I tried to push it off. As a certain person doesn't always say, it doesn't feel like you're astral projecting, but you're still in your room. But it actually worked, and I looked in sheer horror and tried to back up, but it just disappeared. So I get up normally thinking I had awoken, as I had many certain people, but had actually been able to stay in the state. I walked through my astrally cluttered room and picked up my tablet to write down the lucid dream that had just happened. All of a sudden, my legs started sinking into the floor. At this point, I had lost to the extent I'm still to type my experience on this tablet. Then I get the feeling I'm about to wake up and I hear that wicked laugh. What? Um, the next one is, um, I'm gonna read off. My first and only time astral projecting was when I was 20 years old. I had been practicing for over a year to astral project, and I finally did it. I was lying in bed when I left my body, and everything looked like my room, only reality. As I knew it felt like a fabrication of my own mind, and I felt like I was experiencing true reality, and it shattered my view of my waking world. I was sensing so many things, and I can't describe everything I felt with words. Only that this new reality opened up senses, and I didn't even know what I had. So after realizing this, I looked at my body and saw that my eyes were open and looking into the corner of my bedroom. I turned into an astral head to the direction of my body's eyes, looking and sensed an ancient, I don't know how I knew, but it felt older than I could even comprehend, malevolent being of the darkest darkness I'd ever seen. I felt blackness rather than seeing it, and it was the deepest, darkest black. I don't know how to describe it other than I knew it was ancient and the darkest thing I'd ever experienced, and it scared the heck out of me, though. I didn't feel like it had any ill will towards me. I felt its presence looking at me, and it scared me back into my body, and I've never tried doing it again. Does anyone know what it was, or anyone ever experienced anything like this? It felt like me pierced into my very being. Even though it didn't have eyes or a form to speak, I felt violated, like it saw deep inside of me, and there was nothing I could hide from it. Wow. And this is the last one. I thought that there was some good ones on here, but I guess I'll like tell y'all one that I know of. Since I only see the darker ones, but I'll read this last one and then tell y'all about one. It was early in the morning, close to when I woke up, and I just remember feeling like I tumbled out of my body. I was sleeping on my side, and I didn't fall out of bed. I experienced the tingling when I left everything. My sight was a little clouded, but I think I could see myself sleeping. I was kind of disoriented at first, but I quickly gained complete well, complete control. I was walking through walls and everything in my house, but it was pretty dark. I wanted to go outside, and it was dark out there too, despite being close to daylight when I had this dream. There were stars in the sky, but as if all the stars were way brighter, like I could see farther into the universe or something. It's as if the sky was reflecting the entire universe to me. Now I am walking down the road, and eventually during this experience, I end up at a store or something. There were bad guys, and I was trying to tug on someone's jacket to get their attention, but I ended up having to fight the bad guys. Eventually, I started getting a dry feeling in my throat, and I felt really tired. And I could feel something starting to tug me back where I was sleeping. It might have been a bright silver cord, too. I started walking back down the road and through my house to where I was. I woke up with a dry feeling in my throat like I was dreaming. It was really weird. That was the last one that I saw on there. But one experience that I heard about was just a kind of feeling of cold, but a relaxing cold, kind of like if you're settled into a pool and there's just like vast emptiness. One of my friends was describing it to me, and they just felt like the calmest they had ever been. And it's like they didn't really hear anything but like maybe like a calming buzzing sound. I had heard about stuff like that and like with deprivation, but they were like experiencing this in their like dreamlike astral state, and it was just fascinating to hear about. I also had a friend, and he couldn't control it, but he would be sleeping at night, and like he would have like his astral projection like dreams or state, and like I don't think many of them would be dark, but he would wake up from sleep paralysis and he would see like black figures. And I've heard a lot of people do that because it's like your body is just adjusting and like back in, and it's almost just like you're frozen and you're just like kind of like your whole body's asleep, like when your legs asleep. And a whole bunch of people I know have like described like a tingling feeling after it. But I figured I would read a couple of those stories and kind of get y'all's insight, possibly hear y'all's stories. Um, and if you want me to do more readings off of Reddit, I can. But I figured I would go live and kind of try this out. It seemed very interesting to me, and I've never messed with it myself because I because of Insidious, I kind of, in particular, and I don't want anything entering into my body. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and please like this video when it's posted, and if you know anything else, as I said, just comment.